Welcome to the Barker Podcast Collection.
Welcome to the Not Watching Podcast. My name's Rob Howard, and this week I'm joined by
Ian Bruce,
John Marson,
and Marcus Hurley.
You can contact us on email at notwatchingpodcast@gmail.com or follow us on Twitter at notwatchingpod. Right, so it was a couple of weeks ago now, but we did our Game of Thrones spoiler special that went out a couple of weeks ago, and but we'd only seen up to episode 8 at the time we recorded, and since then we've watched the final 2, and they were definitely worth talking about, I think. So yeah, what did you guys think? I mean, quite a lot went down in those last 2 episodes, I thought. Any particular highlights?
I mean,
there's some obvious ones.
I think it was a case of the great Lord George R.R. Martin giveth and taketh away. He kind of just said, we all want to see you. You want to see the thing happen. We'll let you see the thing happen on the penultimate episode, and then the thing you didn't want to see happen, we'll save that for the finale.
Are we gonna do spoilers or not?
Yeah, what the hell?
Oh yeah.
Alright,
yeah,
cool.
go for it.
In that case, you want fucking dragons? We'll give you dragons. You want a chick riding the dragon, waving her hair in the air? Yeah, you got it.
I really like that, and I love the way that they did the same camera angle as Neverending Story.
Yes. I don't know if that was...
Yeah. Yeah, maybe to cut down on their budget a bit. I mean, I think even if the effects were perhaps a little lacking there, I think the overall effect was definitely
incredible.
Yeah, it was definitely it was awesome. So yeah, we had the big fighting pit scene where Jorah got to kind of earn his stripes again, as it were, and it was really. Yeah. So, I'm just trying to think of everything else that went down. There was the whole. Oh yeah, there was another moment involving fire just before that, wasn't there?
Family barbecue.
Oh yeah.
Oh man. Yeah.
And the fact that it didn't work out as well. It's just like he just roasted his daughter to death, and then he doesn't even. And obviously, it's like horrible for his daughter, and she's an amazing character and really lovable. And then also, it didn't really get him any further down the road that you wanted to go down.
No.
And his wife hung herself. Fuck.
Yep.
Yeah, well, she totally lost it, didn't she? I think she kind of failed her sand roll to an extent and realised the horror that was happening.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it was just so grim the way that she's like, "Oh, Daddy, I'll do anything for you." It's like, oh dear.
Well, how about dying in a fiery abyss?
Do you know what? Really, I mean, when we were watching it, me and Suze, we were sitting there. We had a theory that because in the because she had grayscale, maybe she might be immune, and she was cured. So we were sitting there going, any minute now, and no, she's actually burning. No, oh dear.
It would have been a neat twist if that was the moment
Yeah.
he found out that wasn't his daughter and that she was a Targaryen.
Yeah. It would have been cool. I was hoping for something like that to happen, but it didn't.
Yeah. No, they just left us to deal with it.
Yeah.
No,
Pretty much. After the whole burning of, is it Shuri? I can't remember her name was. His daughter.
What, the little girl?
Yeah. When they did the whole sacrifice thing, and she came out and she saw the first thawing of the ice and everything, and she was all smug. And then when you found out that half of his army had deserted in the night, you see her face drop. And she literally, at the point where you kind of go, wow, I've never seen her pull that expression. Sort of like, okay, bye. And then she just went.
Like, I'm just going to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, well, it all backfired, didn't it?
Yeah.
Because ultimately, he lost the morale of his men, and they were already kind of low in numbers, weren't they, after all the winter, and then...
You had that frozen guy, didn't you, in that shot? That was really weird. When you didn't realise he was frozen to death. He was just like staring at the camera. Yeah,
it's grim. But that the whole like overhead sort of shot of all the armies massing and stuff I thought was awesome. They did something similar to that last season, but yeah, it's good to actually see the shit happening now rather than it just being described.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, yeah. But then, yeah, I suppose it was that, and then, yeah, that and the fighting pits were really the big ones of episode 9, the big sort of moments. And I don't know where the hell she's gone off to now, but that's all the...
She Who She.
Daenerys.
Daenerys, yeah. Because
Like,
that's...
how far have you taken me? Ooh, where could we be?
Well, I thought she'd gone all the way to the Seven Kingdoms.
Yeah.
I thought she'd gone all the way over there because it looked like that sort of temperate climate sort of place, but I don't think she's quite gone that far.
No, but you've got the Dothraki horsemen, haven't you? So it can't be that far.
Yeah, she's definitely crossed the sea, isn't she? Because she's...
Really?
Yeah.
Well, she's on with the Dothraki, and they're across the... Yeah, they're on a different continent.
Oh, yeah.
I looked at a map actually a few days ago, and you've kind of got the big sort of long stretch, and then there's like over the other side. I'm just going to bring it up. I'm thinking of Westeros is like the main place, isn't it? That's the tall bit, and then next to it, there's like another sort of longer continent that's kind of the bit where Daenerys is, and I think in between there, I think that's where she might be. But yeah, is she in trouble with the Dothraki, or are they still on her side? Because I was a little bit confused. It looked she looked really vulnerable there when they were all like surrounding her.
Well, the warlords don't care because she's only there. She was only one Khaleesi, wasn't she? But I'm guessing they're because they're a nomadic tribe. She dropped the ring to show that she was worth anything. You know, if she was a queen, they would have probably taken her prisoner. So I'm guessing because
rather than just rape her a bit.
Yeah, well, probably rape her a bit more than usual. But
she's going to have a hard time because she's had a bit of an easy ride so far.
Yeah.
Oh, actually,
and the producers are bastards.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Dothraki area is actually sort of further away. It's in the other direction to Westeros, so I don't know. I'm just pulling up a map here.
Yeah.
So yeah. Any thoughts on it, Ian? All that stuff in episode 9 going on?
I was kind of as gobsmacked as everybody else, to be honest. The only bit that I found a little distracting, which I think was touched on earlier, was the CG for bits of the dragony bit. Especially the bit that looked like she was playing Quidditch when she pulled away from the pit. It was really dodgy, and that kind of pulled me out of it. But apart from that, it was excellent. However, not as excellent as the next one. We'll get to that shortly, I imagine.
Yeah, I suppose we might as well begin with what happened with Arya, because that was all kind of mad.
Yeah.
Although it was good to see that guy get his comeuppance. That was really quite horrific.
Yeah.
The amount of damage she did.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah. That was hideous. Like, yeah.
She rolled a natural 20 there, didn't she?
Yeah.
Wow.
But, yeah, but she went against the Lord of Light and got into some trouble for that. So, but you were totally spot on, Marcus, when you said about how maybe the man of many faces is Arya. You totally said that in the last episode, and you were kind of right.
Yeah, that made me laugh a bit. I kind of thought, what? But I think I joked about it when I met up with you recently, that when she was pulling through all the faces in that sort of Scooby-Doo moment, maybe they should have chucked in a few, of the other people and stuff. Like, still there was a bit where she was going through them quite quickly. If one of them was like Joffrey, that would have been quite funny.
Or her dad.
Yeah. Sean Bean, Joffrey, and Catelyn Stark, all the dead people, Robb Stark.
Sean Bean.
Yeah.
Dies a lot.
Wasn't it all the people like on her list?
No.
Was that it?
So.
No? Or is it just
it
was some randoms, wasn't it? But there were a couple of recognisable faces in there.
Yeah.
So yeah, it looks like she's been blinded, which is quite grim. And wasn't happy about that.
I know what happens because somebody told me, basically, so I'll shut up about this.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So yeah, I guess the only real other elephant in the room is the whole business with Jon Snow.
Yeah.
Cersei had a nice time as well.
Yes.
There was that as well. A lot of fuss about the fact that it was a body double that they used.
Yeah.
She was pregnant at the time.
So that's fair enough.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Plus, like, if she wants a body double, whose business is it? You know.
Exactly.
They're telling
Plus,
a
we've all
story,
seen-
not just showing people's tits to everyone.
Yeah. Despite the fact that they show people's tits to everyone and tell a story.
Well, yeah, that's okay. But you know, if someone
Yeah.
doesn't want to show their tits or their dick
Exactly.
or whatever, then fine.
They have the right not to. Yeah. Although, to be honest, if people were complaining, I'm thinking, watch 300. She gets them out in that. That's how I knew it wasn't her.
Thanks for that handy tip.
There we go. Watch it for the plot. Gets a plug. Excellent.
That's the only plot element of 300, to be honest.
It is a key element in boobies.
Yeah. No, but I really thought she was going to get it. To be honest, this year, but it seems like what's kind of happened is kind of better in a way as far as the plot is concerned, because she's going to be wreaking holy vengeance.
Oh yeah,
God, yeah.
A few people. I
I
think.
would not want to be those guys when she gets started.
She's got her own medieval Terminator now, hasn't she? It's like, fuck
Oh yeah, we
hell.
need to find out what
Terminator.
happened to the mountain.
Click game.
Yeah, good grief.
Yeah, that was. He's like full on zombie golem
Frankenstein
sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is totally mental.
One thing
Yeah.
about that scene that did kind of make me laugh, not intentionally, but it was when she was walking along and the first person to like do the first outburst was this bloke who literally was about to go off camera and then shouted in her ears, "Cunt!"
Yeah.
and we just pissed ourselves laughing. Go, imagine if that was you. You know, they say ad lib, say whatever comes to mind. You know, go with it, and then you just go, ah, and then you kind of show your parents and all that. And say, "That's
Juggling
me."
thunder cunt.
There was an excellent thing on Reddit where you probably all saw it, but there was a guy who'd received the advert to go to Croatia and be the guy who flashes his cock.
All right.
So he got an email from the production company saying must be available to travel at 6:30 tomorrow morning, and he got this at 9:00 at night or something. Not be ashamed of full frontal nudity and be prepared to learn this line, and it was the line from the thing. He couldn't do it, but it was an excellent email. It was just so...
Oh,
Don't be
brilliant.
afraid to show your cock and be really obnoxious in front of lots of people. Thanks very much. See you there.
I'm in.
Yes, we'll pay travel and some expenses.
Wow.
Oh well.
So where was that film then? Dubrovnik?
Somewhere in Croatia, yeah. I think it was Dubrovnik.
Gotta be, isn't it? You're thinking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely Croatia.
I don't think anybody's been a big fan of Cersei over the seasons. She's been a bit of a cunt, to be honest. I don't like using that word for women. Kay Burley, maybe, and others, but she's that scene really made me... I felt sorry for her, which I
Yeah.
suppose is what they're trying to do, the bastards, but that was just cruel. I know a lot of the deaths are cruel, and Reek's not having a good time, and many other people have been soiled in unpleasant ways, but that just seemed specifically cruel.
Do you know, I didn't feel a single thing for her. Like, I just...
Heartless John, we call you, though, isn't it?
Not usually, but she's just been such a massive cow throughout the whole thing, and you know, she doesn't think anything of killing someone. So her being, you know, pushed through the streets naked, I think worse things could happen to her, and I probably wouldn't be too fussed.
Well, 2 out of her 3 children are dead. So
Is that, I suppose, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, she doesn't know about one of them yet.
No.
yeah, but she will do very soon. And
Her dad.
I think, you know, I mean, yeah, death, I suppose, is the ultimate comeuppance, but in a way, sort of seeing her sort of suffering that way was kind of equally gratifying, I think. Seeing her being stripped down like that.
Wow.
Well, I don't mean like that, but it was kind of... She definitely got hers in some form.
Yeah.
And I think it's kind of important for the show to keep hold of a few villains, because I know we've got little evil goblin man, as you someone described him.
Ramsey,
but
Bolton.
yeah, Ramsey. But you know, I think it's good to keep them around because you miss them otherwise. You know, you need some good antagonists.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Well,
In a sort of twisted
it'd be
way.
a bit dull without Cersei and Joffrey earlier on, and Ramsey. Yeah, it does keep it moving, doesn't it? And gives you somebody to hate while you're rooting for the guys that you like.
Well, that's the thing. You realise now why they were building up Ramsey. It was to fill the power vacuum of evilness that Joffrey would have left when he shuffled off this mortal coil.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Oh.
Yeah, and you need a few as well because there's so many different things going on kind of concurrently in so many different locations. You know, you kind of need that, and I think they've balanced it out pretty well.
Oh, speaking of which, well, not quite, but Stannis. Do we think he's dead, or do we think that Brienne spared him? And my theory is that she's probably spared him and said, you know, do one right thing in your life and help me rescue Sansa.
No, I think he's dead as fuck.
I think he bled out. I think he's expired.
Yeah, I reckon she took his head.
Yeah, I think Rink's looking after Sansa.
Well, they both did a kind of battle royale thing, didn't they? And jumped off the highest battlements.
Oh yeah, that was nice.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Wasn't there like snowdrift or something that
Yeah,
I don't know.
It was,
But it's flat snow and you've jumped off a castle.
it was
know.
like 80 or 90 feet down.
It would be funny if there was like another rock battlement underneath that snow and it was about a centimetre thick, the snow. That would have been hilarious.
Yeah.
Or a dead soldier with their sword buried under the
Oh, the moment
nuts. What's left?
when Rick threw that woman off the battlements, that was a brutal bit of camera work. That was like the whole effect, the way it followed her, and the whole. It was nasty. Ugh,
And the way you just went,
that's what happened.
That was that.
Yeah. No, but I think they built that up nicely, and he finally had his moment. Whether he'll continue to be as loyal, who knows? But he's kind of made his choice now. Really,
Yeah, he might grow a pair now. Too soon.
Oh well.
No.
Yeah.
Which leads us on to the stark reality of the show.
Yeah. You want to get on to Jon Snow then?
Yes, that was the...
Yeah, so it looks like he's dead. I wasn't really following the whole bit where he was searching for his uncle or something. That was how they lured him out, wasn't it? But the fact is, they all betrayed him. But he kind of had it coming, really, didn't he?
I knew it was going to be that little kid, though, because he's kind of mugged him off the whole time.
Yeah.
Just by, and you kind of think, that's not a normal kid, he's been sent to the Night's Watch.
So you should really deal with that.
Yeah. Just like chuck him north of the wall. Let him be going.
Maybe not, but
tie him to the anchor and then swing for a bit on the other side. Just whatever.
Wow.
Was it?
There's not enough humanitarian in this podcast.
We've all been sanitised by Game of Thrones.
It was Ollie, wasn't it? The little kid.
That was it.
Yeah, he apparently on Reddit there are two subreddits. There's like Team Ollie and Team Fuck Ollie. Apparently there was a lot of dispute about his character because he is invented. He's not in the books. And like a lot of people really hated him and just found him really pointless. And now it's sort of like they've just sort of been given validation really because now he's just done the most horrible thing.
I thought we got to the point where the people who are reading the books were shutting up because it wasn't the books anymore. Are they still bleating about? Oh, it's not in the books. It's not law.
Well, now that Snow's been stabbed up, they don't know what happens next because that was the final book, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of it's sort of bastardizations of various bits of the last sort of two books or whatever. So they've all been bleating about it and all that. And there's an element of the books that I knew about which I wasn't sure what was going to happen. And apparently they've said it's not. And I'm wondering whether I should say it or not. You can probably edit it out.
Nah, don't say it. If we don't know
I won't
about
then. I won't then.
But I know what the deal with Arya is, but I'm not gonna ruin that for anyone.
I'll take that knowledge to my White Walker state membership then. because the grave isn't quite enough, as we've seen now.
Rob,
Well, the thing is, as much as George R. R. Martin's been like sort of killing off all our favourite characters, and a few that we were glad to see the back of, he's also remarked that death is not always the end.
That's what I was. Yeah, that's just why I'm saying it's kind of hard.
But we already know that.
Yeah.
In the fiction of the show, that, and especially a certain priestess who happens to be in the vicinity.
Yes.
There was another character, wasn't there, who'd been killed 20 times or some shit? Wasn't there somebody who come back from the dead?
The guy who was, he died like 6 times. He was in Fortitude.
Yeah,
the main guy in that.
He was with the Starks, right?
Yes. No, he was part of this band of like mercenaries.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah, that's
right. The Brotherhood of Light or something weird like that, or something.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
that was
Beric,
cool.
and she worships the Lord of Light, doesn't she, Melisandre?
Okay.
So they can bring people back from the dead.
I think he'll come back.
And I think she does it. I think she did it before as well, because there was a bit where I think 2 people were fighting. It was like seasons ago, and they were fighting. They had this whole pyre of flames and stuff, like a bonfire, and one of them gets killed or something. But because he believes in the Lord of Light, he comes back, or something like that. I think that happens really, really early on when she first comes, and that's how we take her seriously.
So if she can bring him back, then everything that she does requires some sort of sacrifice, doesn't it?
Yes.
So
Ollie.
Well, no, because Ollie's not close to John. So I think that the only one who's close enough to John to make that sacrifice would be Sam.
But Sam is thankfully miles away now.
Yeah, that's true.
I hope it's not
certainly
Ghost.
On his way. He's gone to the he's gone to the Meisters, the tower there, which I know is. I did look that up on the map, and it is miles away.
It? So it can't...
Yeah, it's right far south, further south than King's Landing.
So who could it be then? Because they're going to have to lose someone in to bring him back, if they do bring him back. I would have thought.
Or maybe she'll just take his blood since it's spilling out.
Yeah, maybe.
Because that's what she was after.
Maybe she'll turn him into a smoke monster.
Yeah, maybe.
Little Johnny Snow, all demon.
Yeah, it was Beric Dondarrion was the character that you were thinking of, the guy with the flaming sword and one eye.
Yeah,
that was it.
He was badass. Yeah. So so there's a lot of controversy, and girl who plays Daenerys,
Emilia Clarke.
Emilia Clarke she's been doing all the promotion for Terminator this week, and she said that it's 50-50. But I don't know if that's her opinion. I think it probably must be, because she wouldn't be allowed to spoil anything. But
Kit Harington has said he's not coming back for season 6.
No.
That may be a lie, of course, but
it wouldn't be that unusual for Game of Thrones to skip a character for a whole season as well. So you might be back at 7.
Like Bran.
Yeah, we haven't seen Bran at all, have we?
And that would give George Martin another year to finish the book, so that we know what the hell actually happens anyway.
Yeah.
So, because they are playing for time a bit now, I think, at this point. Although I think he has been good to kind of let them do their own thing to an extent. It is sort of interesting, but yeah, like you say, and I think the book readers are kind of in a place now where they can't really spoil that much for us.
And they can stop. They can get off their high horses for reading it. Not that they do, and it doesn't really. I mean, I wish I had more time to read stuff, but I don't. So
the thing is, I've never understood why they go on about so. It's almost like a sacrilege what's been happening to it. I'm thinking the amount of films that get created from books that are good, but they're also adaptations. But I'm thinking if you love the book, the film and the book are two different things. You can't literally make the book into a TV show. There'll be hours and hours of people just sitting here droning on and on and on. You'd have like sweeping shots and whole infrastructures being explained in a very sort of mundane way. It'll be like 26 episodes, 10 of which will be plot, and the rest would be just
This is how the
explaining.
world works. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I personally believe that the Lord of the Rings movies are a big improvement on the books.
There's a lot less singing.
Well, no, there's that first Lord of the Rings book, The Fellowship of the Ring. There is that Council of Elrond scene goes on for half of that book, and it's so boring.
Didn't
In
it
the
go
film,
on for
it's
half
like
of the film?
Yeah, but they cut
it might have
away.
felt that way, but
No, that was walking.
that was mercifully brief.
I bet there's less
compared
goodbyes
to
in the book.
No, there's like an entire sort of epilogue that they didn't do.
Oh,
So
dear.
Okay.
instead, they got rid of Saruman another way, which was kind of cool. But no, I think it's an improvement. You get to see the whole sacking of Isengard that you only ever saw the aftermath in the books. But yeah, sorry to
I'm just
digress.
surprised you read a book, mate.
Hmm.
I
And
know.
a big book at that.
I have. No, I did actually read the Lord of the Rings books. It was a long, long time ago, though, before smartphones. Cool. So, any other thoughts on Game of Thrones, or shall we leave it there?
Mondays are empty now without it.
Any predictions for season 6?
Well, yeah, but I can't say anything.
Yeah.
I'm leaving for season
Boobs.
7.
Predictions, not insider knowledge.
It's not insider knowledge. It's stuff that just doesn't exist, but I've got a hunch, but I'm going to keep it close to my chest.
I reckon, yeah,
Fair
boobs,
dues.
willies, dragons, swords,
Yeah,
probably some zombies.
maybe a combination of all of those things as well.
Yeah,
Like some
a boob-
unholy
a
creature,
boob,
Daenerys
a boob,
pouting
willy,
and
sword, zombie monster.
diva, dragon.
Wow.
Daenerys pouting and saying, "Oh, this is much harder than I thought it would be."
What?
I tell you what, Tyrion's going to have an absolute field day in that city, surrounded by eunuchs.
Yeah.
They're all
He is, yes.
unsullied, aren't they?
Yeah.
He will be the satyr
So-
of the
Ooh.
wenches.
That's a
Yeah.
That does bring up a point. Why are the Unsullied suddenly the most useless fighters in the world?
Where have they all gone? Is what I
they all
wanna
got
they
know.
were
supposed-
supposed-
by the-
School.
No, but they were supposed to be like They were supposed to be like. Well, I was going to say they were supposed to be like stormtroopers, but they're useless. Maybe that's what's happened. They've turned into the stormtroopers of Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
They were supposed to be this elite engineered not to feel pain and everything. You know, they'll keep fighting until their limbs are literally cut off. But they were taken out by blokes with heavy
Toffs.
gold masks.
Toffs
Yeah,
with gold mask.
aristocrats. It's like being taken out by the Conservative Party.
If it was a Conservative Party, they'd just basically cut their funding until they just disbanded.
Oh, bit of satire from John. Excellent.
Yeah, bravo. This has been the Not Watching Podcast in partnership with notlistening.co.uk. You can contact us on email at notwatchingpodcast@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter at notwatchingpod. You can find the show notes for this show at notlistening.co.uk. And if you're listening to us on iTunes, then please do give us a review. Anyway, that's all for now. Thanks for listening. See ya.
Bonsoir.